100 years is a long time to remain unified under one cause, but it's an important cause that stood the test of time.
Agriculture, it just evolves so fast. To think that Farm Bureau has been around for 100 years of that, just really neat when you think about that heritage, and just proud to be a part of it now.
I think it's wonderful that Farm Bureau has stood up for farmers that many years.
The family farm. The state of Indiana, connected for generations. With a rich history and deep roots, farmers saw the need to form Indiana Farm Bureau. Its creation was one of the first state farm bureaus in the nation.
Indiana Farm Bureau got started after World War I when prices really went in the tank, and they just felt they needed to be organized to help themselves and to get a better price for commodities and be represented at the legislature.
From the beginning, this grassroots, member-driven organization has adapted to meet the needs of its members.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance was created because our members realized that they weren't able to get the products or the insurance and the coverage that they needed to cover their farms adequately.
Started by just a few farmers, Indiana Farm Bureau rapidly grew and set membership milestones. It was the first state farm bureau to gain more than 250,000 members. While primarily an advocacy organization, it also served as a social network for rural farmers.
Back in the 1930s, Farm Bureau provided a social network for folks living on the farms, and they would gather together for monthly meetings and discuss all kinds of topics. It was a very valuable asset.
Throughout the years, Indiana Farm Bureau has been instrumental in shining a light on the issues and concerns of the farming community. From saving farmers money, to protecting their land, to promoting the issues facing Indiana agriculture, Indiana Farm Bureau has effectively advocated on behalf of its members.
Indiana Farm Bureau has given me a voice at county level, state level, and national level that I wouldn't have otherwise if it wasn't for Farm Bureau being there.
Indiana Farm Bureau's involvement on a county level ordinance allowed our cattle farm to go from one that could have been going out of business to one that's now thriving.
One of the reasons that I'm pleased to be a Farm Bureau member here in Indiana is that that allows me to contribute in a small way to policy impacts that affect farmers statewide.
Indiana Farm Bureau not only recognized early on the need for advocacy, but it acknowledged in a groundbreaking way the vital role women play in farming communities.
About 3 years after Indiana Farm Bureau was originally started, they decided to include women, and that was because there was a need for education and social issues that weren't being addressed at all.
Indiana Farm Bureau, I think, is helping lift women up and help give them a voice to be able to advocate and to promote their farm.
Education within Indiana Farm Bureau starts with the youngest consumers. Bringing ag education to the classroom has been a key initiative for years.
Ag in the classroom impacts the next generation by teaching them where their food comes from, how it's raised, how it gets to their table, therefore making them smarter consumers.
I think agriculture is important in the classroom because we also need to help individuals who live in an urban community also understand the importance of agriculture.
Looking to the future not only happens with programs like Ag in the Classroom. Early on, Indiana Farm Bureau recognized the importance of cultivating the next generation of farmers.
Indiana Farm Bureau's always realized the importance of the youth and youth development. It's the future of Indiana Farm Bureau.
It's really important for young farmers to be involved. Young farmers are the next generation to take over their family farm, and Indiana Farm Bureau provides them a lot of the resources to be able to make that succession.
Caring for the land, its animals, and working to feed the world, all with a focus on raising the next generation of agriculture. It's no wonder Indiana Farm Bureau has endured for 100 years.
Farming's important to me because of our family tradition, family history in it, the legacy of multi-generations involved in this land.
Indiana Farm Bureau is helping shape the future because they're building on what we've done over the last 100 years. We're not just farmers and ranchers anymore, but we're businesswomen. We are urban farmers.
With 20% of the organization being young farmers, we're going to be growing and expanding, as well as agribusiness coming in and becoming a more integral part of the organization. Their viewpoints are going to be even more impactful.
I have no doubt that generations of farmers will continue to adapt to change, become faster and more efficient, to continue to successfully feed the world.
Farming is an amazing livelihood, and for 5 generations we've been doing it, and I don't think there's any other lifestyle. Being able to grow crops, work with our families, and bring our children to the farm every day, there's just no other career that could be better.
As Indiana Farm Bureau looks to the future, it needs only to look to the past for inspiration. 100 years of adapting to meet the evolving needs of Indiana's farmers and agribusiness professionals. With a rich history, we are just getting started.